High probability is not a phrase to whisper, it is a creed, a guiding principle. Every decision a high-probability trader makes is rooted in understanding the odds, in aligning with market structure, and in mastering oneself. The first step is patience. Patience to wait for setups that offer high probability. Patience to step aside when the market does not offer it. High probability is about knowing that every trade is not an opportunity, only those that align with structure, trend, and risk parameters. Imagine the great investors and traders of history. They did not chase every tick, every rumor. They sought the high probability. They waited for conditions that favored them, understanding that the market respects discipline more than it respects ambition. The high probability trader does not fight the market, they flow with it. They wait for moments where probabilities stack in their favor and act decisively. The high probability trader understands structure, trends, and confluences. The EMA, the support and resistance levels, the momentum indicators, all are servants of high probability. When EMA 20 aligns above EMA 50 on a higher time frame, patience whispers, wait. When price respects structure and shows a clear reaction, high probability nods. The trade is not about intuition alone, it is about calculated confluence. Stop-loss placement is sacred. The high-probability trader knows that risk management is the silent engine that powers consistent success. The stop-loss is not a failure, it is a tool, a declaration that probability favors restraint, not heroics. Every stop-loss protects the capital that will be deployed in the next high-probability setup. Every heartbeat listening to this has ever faced the chart. Every soul that has felt the thrill of profit and the pain of loss. Stop-loss is not a sign of weakness, the invisible guardian of every trading legend, the shield that protects dreams, capital, and confidence. And it is the most high-probability tool you will ever possess. You can have your indicators, your strategies, your golden entries. But without stop-loss, you are walking into the market battlefield without armor. You can't fight a war naked, and trading, my friends, is war. It is not surrender. It is the mark of a disciplined warrior who chooses to fight another day. Because when you protect your capital, you protect your future. When you honor your stop-loss, you honor your discipline. When you trust your stop-loss, you trust yourself. Every trader starts with hope. The first trade feels like destiny. The second trade feels like genius. Then comes the losing streak, and the battle begins not on the chart, but within your mind. You see that red line underscore that stop-loss level? You start to think, maybe I should move it just a little further. And right there, at that moment, you've lost not to the market, but to your own emotions. The undisciplined trader doesn't blow up because of strategy, they blow up because they refuse to accept the truth. Every loss you don't control will control you. The stop-loss is not an enemy. It is the teacher, the protector, the high-probability guard. Standing between you and destruction. The undisciplined mind says, I'll wait, it might come back. The high-probability trader says, no. I respect my plan. I cut the loss. I live to trade another day. That is strength. That is mastery. That is the spirit of a winner. Fear will whisper to you, what if you're wrong? What if you miss the move? What if you get stopped out too early? But let me tell you something, every professional trader has been stopped out. Every great investor has faced drawdowns. Every master has learned that survival is the ultimate victory. The difference between amateurs and professionals is not the size of their profits. It's the consistency of their defense. A high-probability trader doesn't try to win every trade. They try to lose small and win big. They treat every stop-loss as a cost of doing business, not a punishment from the market. Stop-loss is not a loss, it's a lesson. Stop-loss is not a failure, it's freedom. Stop-loss is the most high-probability move you can make. History doesn't celebrate the reckless. It celebrates discipline. In the 1940s, Winston Churchill led Britain through war. He made one of the toughest decisions in history: to withdraw troops from Dunkirk. It looked like retreat, but it was strategic survival. That decision saved hundreds of thousands of soldiers, who later turned the tide of war. That, my friends, was a high-probability stop-loss in real life. A controlled retreat to fight again. Not surrender, but strategy. Look at Thomas Edison. He failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. But every failure was just another controlled experiment. He stopped, he learned, he adapted. He didn't let failure consume him. He used it to rise higher. And in trading, Jesse Livermore, the legendary speculator, wrote in his memoir, "A trader who can't take a small loss will eventually take a big one." That's not just wisdom, that's survival. That's a high-probability mindset in motion. Today, traders live in a world of instant execution, flashy charts, and endless noise, signals, opinions, indicators, AI predictions. Everyone wants to be rich now, but few want to be safe first. Let me tell you something straight. Wealth in trading is not built by your entries. It's built by your exits. Your ability to cut a losing trade is what makes you a professional. When you hit that stop loss, you're not losing money. You're buying clarity, you're buying control. You're buying another chance to execute a high-probability setup. Because that's what this is all about. Taking only the setups that make sense. Avoiding the chaos. Trading with patience, confidence, and precision. Every high-probability trader knows the market will always be there tomorrow. But your capital won't be if you don't protect it today. Because when your mind is aligned with your strategy, you stop chasing and start mastering. You start seeing what others miss. You wait for confirmation. You strike with precision. You manage risk with confidence. You accept that losing trades are part of the process. Every stop loss you hit, you are getting closer to mastery. Every disciplined exit, you are proving you belong in the game. You are no longer gambling. You are operating in the high-probability zone. The crowd reacts. The master prepares. The amateur prays. The professional executes. And what separates them is one simple thing: respect for the stop loss. Let's be honest. We've all done it. We've moved that stop loss just a little further. Hoping, praying, waiting for the market to turn. And every time, it feels the same. The heart races, the screen glows. And suddenly a small loss becomes a disaster. Then comes regret. Then comes self-blame. Then comes hesitation on the next trade. That hesitation destroys your confidence. That lack of confidence ruins your edge. This is why the stop loss is your therapist, your protector, your personal high-probability boundary. It keeps you from emotional self-destruction. The moment you press that stop-loss button, you're not giving up. You're standing up. You're saying, "I control my outcome." That is true power. There was once a trader named Richard Dennis, the father of the turtle traders. He believed that discipline could be taught. He trained ordinary people to follow rules. Rules that included strict stop losses. Those students went on to make millions. Not because they were smarter, but because they were more disciplined. They respected the high-probability setups and never disrespected the stop loss. And let's talk about Paul Tudor Jones, a billionaire trader known for saying, "The most important rule of trading is to play great defense, not great offense." He never let ego take over. He'd rather take a small controlled loss than blow up a career. That's not fear, that's power. That's what makes you a high-probability trader. Every stop loss you hit is a mirror. It reflects your weaknesses, your impatience, your hope. But it also reveals your strength, your awareness, your growth. You see, trading is not about winning all the time. It's about surviving long enough to let the math play out. You cannot win big if you can't stay in the game. Every great trader thinks in probabilities, not certainties. And the highest probability is always found in controlling the downside first. Because when your downside is controlled, your upside becomes unlimited. So every time you place a trade, ask yourself, where's my stop loss? If you can't answer that, you're not trading, you're gambling. Trading without a stop loss is like driving blindfolded on a highway and calling it adventure. You don't need adventure. You need high probability precision. A champion doesn't fear losing. A champion fears undisciplined losing. When a trade goes wrong, the champion smiles. Because he knows, this stop loss just bought him another chance. Another day to fight. Another moment to wait for the perfect high probability entry. He doesn't seek revenge on the market. He doesn't chase losses. He doesn't move stops out of fear. He respects his plan and trusts his process. That's what separates the pros from the crowd. Every trader has that one big loss story, the moment when everything went wrong. Some quit after that. But the great ones rise again, wiser, sharper, humbler. They realize that discipline is freedom. Those rules are power. That stop loss is sacred. That's the rebirth moment, when a gambler transforms into a high-probability trader. When your trading career is done, you won't be remembered for the profits you made in 1 month. You'll be remembered for the discipline you showed over years. The traders who last, they all have one thing in common. They protect their capital as if it's oxygen. They use their stop losses like shields of honor. They trade only high-probability setups. And they never apologize for walking away from uncertainty. That's how you build a legacy. That's how you earn freedom. So, my friends, as you go back to your charts, your screens, your strategies, remember this. You are not just traders. You are risk managers. You are decision makers. You are the generals of your own financial destiny. And your weapon, your armor, your compass is the stop loss. Stop loss is high probability. Stop loss is discipline. Stop loss is freedom. Stop loss is power. Because every time you use it, you choose mastery over madness. You choose confidence over chaos. You choose the path of the professional. And that, my friends, is how you become unstoppable. Confidence comes from preparation, from studying the charts, from mastering patterns, and understanding the tools. But remember, high probability does not mean certainty. It means stacking the odds in your favor. Every setup you choose is a step in a carefully calculated strategy. The high probability trader is not reckless, they are deliberate. They measure risk against reward, always seeking the path where probability favors them. The high probability trader understands structure, trends, and confluences. The EMA, the support and resistance levels, the momentum indicators, all are servants of high probability. When EMA 20 aligns above EMA 50 on a higher time frame, patience whispers, wait. When price respects structure and shows a clear reaction, high probability nods. The trade is not about intuition alone, it is about calculated confluence. Stop-loss placement is sacred. The high-probability trader knows that risk management is the silent engine that powers consistent success. The stop-loss is not a failure, it is a tool, a declaration that probability favors restraint, not heroics. Every stop-loss protects the capital that will be deployed in the next high-probability setup. Journaling. Reflection. Review. These are not optional, they are essential. High-probability traders maintain meticulous records. They review losing trades with humility, winning trades with analysis. They seek improvement relentlessly. The market does not forgive complacency, and high probability is cultivated daily. Mindset, discipline, patience, alignment, reflection, these pillars define the high probability trader. They move with intention, not emotion. They act with clarity, not impulse. They understand that trading is not about winning every trade, but about making decisions where probability favors them consistently. As you step into the markets, remember this mantra: high probability is your compass. Let it guide your entries, your exits, your mindset. Every chart you study, every trade you plan, is an opportunity to practice high probability thinking. Do not seek action for the sake of action. Seek the moment when probability aligns with preparation, and then act decisively. History honors those who respect the odds. The high probability trader is not defined by luck but by mastery, by understanding that the market rewards discipline, patience, and calculated action. In every heartbeat, every decision, remember, high probability is your ally, your mentor, your guiding light. Step forward, embrace the journey, and let the high probability mindset transform not only your trading but your approach to risk, opportunity, and success itself. The market is vast, unpredictable, and challenging. Yet, with the high probability mindset, you are equipped to navigate it with wisdom, calm, and unwavering confidence. High probability is not merely a strategy, it is a philosophy. It is the recognition that every trade is a calculated decision, every setup a choice influenced by preparation and patience. Let high probability guide you. Let it define you. And after listening to this, carry this truth with you: the high probability trader is not created by chance, but by discipline.